keeping up with the trends? And why are our most struggling schools those with a high density of African American students? The following is an overview of the presentation. I will share why I chose the topic, what the research tells us about the topic, how it looks for us within the district of JCPS, why are the trends lasting for so long, and we will briefly discuss multicultural education and its impact on achievement. The persistent underfunding of schools serving Black and brown children has had a pernicious effect on the earning ratios of Black and brown people related to years of schooling. That just shows the power of education. I chose this topic because of an assignment we were given earlier in the semester, and it involved us pulling data from Jefferson County Public Schools data book. And the numbers showed that African Americans made up 64% of suspensions and only 11% of the advanced placement population. The research that I found highlighted a couple of theories that are said to support this underachievement of African American students. The first one is the deficit theory, and within this theory, that it states that the genetic or cultural inferiority is the cause of academic failure. Within that theory, they say that Black children are deficient in language, social development, and intelligence. And they say this is because of poorly developed language, an inadequate mother, too little or too much stimulation, and fewer opportunities to do enriching activities like play sports, go to museums, watch theater. The next theory is the economic theory, and this proposed that families with higher incomes are better able to provide important resources that are vital to their child's development, which goes back into that last point of the deficit theory. And one more thing that stood out in my research was the zip code lottery. And this highlights that children could be born on the same day in the same city but live in different zip codes. Okay, depending on where they live, the ones in the higher poverty areas are 2 times more likely to experience developmental delays, and by their 4th birthday will be exposed to 30 million fewer words than a middle income student, and 13 times more likely to drop out reading on a 3rd grade level. These theories place the responsibility of academic achievement solely on the home lives of students, and that can't be the only indicator of academic success. So how does the research show up in our elementary schools within JCPS? The chart highlights the reading and math scores according to the Kentucky Performance Assessment we take annually. And this is from the 2015-16 school year. I have it sorted based on the reading scores from lowest to highest. Maupin Elementary scored 19 points in reading and 20 points in math, and they have 93% enrollment of African Americans. And when you look down at Great House, they have 100 points for both reading and math, and they have a 16% enrollment rate for African American students. I gathered several just to see if there were some case-by-case scenarios or some inconsistencies within the data. Maybe it could be a school that has a large percentage of African Americans but has a reasonable score for reading and math, and that was not the case for any of the schools I have listed. So what do we do with the data? The data has been consistent over the past 10 years at least, and the scores probably fluctuate maybe 2 points, 6 points year after year with no huge changes in the achievement of African American students. So there's something lacking in our educational system because we have not yet reached our African American students, and we have not been able to provide the instruction that they need to be successful. So where can we go, and what can we do to improve our education and instruction? Learning to affirm the culture of students in their education can make the difference between failure or academic achievement in many schools. And this is part of a statement within culturally responsive instruction. And it's in the importance of valuing students, families, understanding what life is like for children of diverse backgrounds, and anticipating the various worlds they encounter will also be able to be a bridge between their academic success and their home lives. In multicultural education, there are 5 areas we must focus on, and that's teachers' beliefs about students, curriculum content and materials, instructional approaches, educational settings, and teacher education. Teacher beliefs and expectations influence how students perform. We have to make sure that the content and materials we use are culturally relevant, and the activities, are unique to their specific needs. Our instructional approaches must use the language and understanding that students bring to school so that we can bridge the gap between what they know and need to learn. Our educational settings should be consistent throughout the district, regardless of their location. And teacher education is fundamental to being able to provide educational experiences that enhance their knowledge of different races, class, and genders, and then the issues that are prevalent in our schools. My hope is that we will take this data and use it to transform our current system, because the current system has not been able to produce the achievement scores for all students, which it is set up to do. It's supposed to level the playing field for all citizens, and it has not done that. All it's done over the years is disenfranchise one group while benefiting another.